gang, what is up? Aaron here, Canadian Looney. So we've got a CBC reporter that's trying to be a journalist. She doesn't really fall off here until the second half. She's interviewing Deputy Leader of the Conservative Party, the official opposition, Melissa Lantsman. She is a firecracker and seems to have some issues to burn with CBC. Anyhow, this is very interesting look for CBC. I think that this reporter, Karina Roman's going to get in trouble because she forgot the CBC agenda for the first half of this interview anyways. She starts to remember in the second half. Let's take a peek. Melissa Lantsman, a woman on fire.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre will be back in the House of Commons next month, this time as the representative for the Alberta riding of Battle River Crowfoot. In his victory speech, Poilievre said things may sound different.
Conservatives have our work cut out for us. This fall, as Parliament returns, we will not only oppose out-of-control Liberal inflation, crime, immigration, cost of living, and housing prices, but we will propose real solutions for safe streets, secure borders, a stronger and sovereign country with bigger take-home pay for our people.
After last night's by-election win, Poilievre can shift gears to the return of Parliament, where he'll face off against Prime Minister Mark Carney for the first time as members of Parliament. For more on what that will look like, I'm joined by Deputy Leader of the Conservative Party, Melissa Lantsman. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Can voters expect a different style of leadership when Poilievre returns to the House next month?
Look, I think that voters are going to expect that an official opposition in this country holds the government to account on, on the things that that they said that they were going to do and are not getting done, as well as propose solutions for Canadians to see that the Conservatives are a government in waiting, and we're happy to have Pierre Poilievre back in the House to do that as our leader, united behind him with a bigger caucus and a very different Conservative coalition than we've had in the past.
Well, in his victory speech last night, he did talk about proposing solutions, about being willing to work with other parties. Well, does that shift include a shift in tone?
Well, look, I think that the proposals for some of what we said that we would do had we won the election, Mark Carney agreed with, and he took some of those things. And there are plenty more. You've heard from Conservatives. We're going to stand strong against the anti-energy laws that exist on the books, C-69, that stop pipelines and mines from being built. We're going to oppose that industrial carbon tax, things that are going to make us more self-sufficient, less reliant. There's no shortage of things to talk about in Parliament. We've got an insane EV mandate, and all of the things that were wrong, on the day of the election and before the election, out of control housing prices, unchecked immigration, a cost of living crisis, labor strife that we haven't seen in the last 30 years in this country. Those things are still there. So again, no shortage of things to talk about in Parliament when Parliament returns, and we're happy to have Pierre at the helm of that, squaring off with the Prime Minister.
You mentioned a whole host of proposals in there, and I want to get to that in a moment, but I guess some of those are wrapped up in this Canadian Sovereignty Act that you want to put forward, and some of those are promises that I guess essentially, if you look at the results, were rejected in the spring election. So how do you move forward with proposals that that you actually want to get stolen if we're talking about ideas getting poached by the government?
We're very happy to see the Liberals take on conservative policies. I don't think that's a repudiation of policy at all. Look, I think that Canadians know that we are in a difficult situation when it comes to trade, when it comes to housing, when it comes to immigration, when it comes to young people trying to get into the workforce with high unemployment rates, when it comes to strikes and fair pay for work. These are the things that Conservatives will propose. We need to reward investment in this country, keep it within our borders. Things like a reinvestment tax credit or dropping the capital gains if you're going to reinvest that cash in Canada to bolster our industry, our communities, our families, and our workers.
So much of the success until the election of your party and your leader was in opposing the Trudeau government and the things that they were doing. Now we're talking about proposing. How do you ensure that Canadians give the Conservative Party credit if the Liberals do adopt some of your ideas going forward, if now it's about proposing and not opposing so much?
Well, look, I think it's still about, it's certainly still about both. There's an official opposition in this country, whether people like it or not, and it's a function of democracy. But let's not forget that we've built a coalition that Conservatives have never built before, or who have never enjoyed before. Unions, trade workers, young people, new Canadians, people who have never voted before, 41% and 8 million Canadians. We have the responsibility to speak on behalf of those 8 million Canadians that chose the Conservative vision going forward, and we've got to find ways to expand that coalition. So I think opposing has certainly a function, and expanding that base and that Conservative coalition to include more and more Canadians who are going to see the path to prosperity with our party and with Pierre as the next Prime Minister of Canada. That's what we're there to do. We're happy that he's back with the by-election behind us. We can look forward to Parliament and again growing that Conservative coalition in a way that we haven't before.
I hear what you're saying, but polling did show that, for example, on the consumer carbon tax, most Canadians gave Mark Carney credit for cutting that, even if they know in the background that for 2 years it was something that you have pushed for. Is there not a risk of that continuing to happen if, let's say, for example, EV mandates, that might be one of the more possible ideas that you could see a government adopting, because industry is also pushing for those to be dropped? Would it bother you if the Liberals get credit for that?
Gone, and for a long time in this country, there are many, many voices, including on your very show, that said that inflation had nothing to do with the carbon tax. And even today, we see a lower inflation number because of getting rid of that carbon tax. So we'll continue to advocate for the best case for Canadians, for the best policies for Canadians, to bring them forward and make sure that we check that unchecked government spending. We still haven't seen a budget. We know that these Liberals are spending more even than the last Prime Minister, who spent more than all Prime Ministers combined. I'm fairly confident that the Canadians will see our function as an important one in Parliament. And again, if Mark Carney wants to take our ideas, please go ahead, put forward Conservative ideas in this country, and really get down to fixing it.
We are seeing on social media, for example, today that Pierre Poilievre's wife, Anna Poilievre, today talked on, as I said, on social media about friendships coming and going and the ugly side of politics. Is that hinting at some kind of settling of scores? And do you think that rhetoric is helpful for your party moving forward in how Canadians see the Conservative Party?
Look, I think politics is not a linear path forward, and I think when you have setbacks or you don't get the result that you want, that you pick yourself back up and you get back on the saddle or back on the horse, and you do the job that you think that you should be doing in this country. And look, I think you'll have to ask Anna about what she means, but I can tell you that we're a united caucus, a bigger coalition, a new coalition, and a party that's united behind Pierre. And again, we're happy to have him back at the helm, doing what he does best in the House of Commons and holding the government's feet to the fire as one of the most effective opposition leaders in the history of this country.
I'm wondering, though, from what you're saying, were any lessons learned from the non-linear path that has gotten you to this point?
Yeah, look, absolutely. After every election, whether you win or you lose, I think internally you take stock of what worked, what didn't work, how to change it, how to grow the party base. But we're never going to take away from what Pierre has managed to build with a Conservative coalition, one that I'd never seen before, one where we have young people and new Canadians, unions and trades workers, families from coast to coast. We're not going to let down the 8 million Canadians that voted for Conservatives and for Conservative policies. And we've got to do both things. We've got to take stock of those lessons, discuss them internally as a party, and probably not the place to do it on Power and Politics, but I'll let you know.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Deputy Leader of the Conservative Party, Melissa Lantsman.
As a European, I am a European,
European.
actually.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
I'm Irish citizen. Yeah, so there you
welcome.
go.
Welcome.
Speaking as a European.
WTF.
Here, here.
How many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein?
More than just elbows.
And as the most European of the non-European countries.
Being aware of what potential conflicts of interest you
What
sought
possible
to avoid.
conflict would you have, Stephanie? Stephanie, I'm complying with the rules. I'm complying with the rules in advance.
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations, you're spending more money on taxes than on food, clothing, and shelter combined.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
All right, gang, thank you all very much for watching. Aaron, Canadian Looney, like, share, subscribe. Smash that subscribe. We're trying to grow this thing. Canadian Federal Politics. Get yours right here. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.